In this video, we will cover the account configuration of Cyclos 4. We will discuss currencies, account types, transfer types, and briefly introduce account and transaction fees. In the previous videos, we created our network by means of the wizard, and we created two group sets. Each group set has two user groups, for gold and silver members. And we also created two admin groups. So, everything is waiting for users to register and become a member. But for now, they have to wait until we have everything else in place. In this video, we are going to implement two types of accounts. A trading account for payment transactions and a savings account to set aside value for later use. So, let's get right into it. As always, we have to log in as a network administrator or as the global administrator. Make sure you select the right network. Let's have a look at currency. It's the first choice on the side menu on the left in the section called Account Configuration. As you can see, we already defined a currency called Circo, short for circular coin. We did that in step 4 of the wizard, remember? We can add more currencies if we like, by pressing New. But don't create too much currencies. Let's inspect the currency we already created. This window shows all parameters for defining its behavior. We see the name and the internal name. If necessary, we can add a description to distinguish it from other currencies. In our case, we don't need that. So let's move on. We can define a symbol, a prefix, and a suffix. We already decided to use CI as a symbol and suffix. We want a space between the amount and the symbol, so we add the space in the suffix. And the currency will use 2 decimals in the number. If needed, we can define how a transaction is displayed. The wiki describes the variables we can use. But, this field will be overwritten by the value of the transfer type. We will come to that in a moment. We can also opt for a transaction number by ticking the box. If ticked, we can define how the transaction looks like. In our case, we will not use a transaction number, so let's untick the box again. So far so good, no rocket science. The next 2 fields, we leave unticked. They will be explained in a tutorial on bartering. Next, we will need accounts. Select Account Types in the left sidebar menu. As you can see, the wizard already created 3 accounts, 2 system accounts and 1 user account. A user account type can hold multiple accounts, 1 for each user, while a system account type only holds 1 account. Let's have a closer look at each account. The first account is the mandatory debit system account. It is used for creating our circular units. Please notice that we can't change the account balance limit. The balance of this account will typically be negative. Circular units will be transferred from one account to another. As we already have 3 account types, there are several transfer types possible. We can define them in the tab Transfer Types. The wizard already created them. The first one defines a transfer from the debit account to a member account. It is used for topping up the balance. The second one defines a transfer to the organization account, used for topping up the balance of the organization. The third one is used for creating the initial credit of a member. It is a generated transfer type. That means that it is not triggered by a user payment but by an event. In this case, the creation of a new trade account. Okay, back to our account types. The second account type is the organization account. Notice that we can set balance limits, negative and positive. Let's leave it as it is. Now have a look at the transfer types the wizard created. As we only have 2 remaining account types, we can transfer units from the organization account to the debit account or to a member account. Finally, have a look at the member account. First, let's rename it to Trade Account and add a description. It is a good habit to give a description of the use and features of this account. Press Save and switch to Transfer Types. Let's zoom in on the user payment transfer type. If we like, we can change the name of this transfer type. But for now, the name user payment covers it all. We can add a description and tick boxes for sending notifications. Next, we can set a chargeback time in days, weeks or months. We can set all kinds of payment limits. These are self-explanatory. In the section named Applicability, there is one interesting setting. It has a label, Destination Restricted to. The drop-down shows several options to restrict the use of this transfer type. In our case, we'll leave it to No Restrictions. We intended to create a fourth account type, the savings account. So let's do that. Select New and then User Account, as there will be multiple savings accounts. First, we will give it a name and description. Next, we select the currency for this account. But we only have one currency defined, so it has to be Circo. Press Save to finish. Now we need to define the transfer type. So, select the Transfer Type tab. We only need one transfer type for this account, for withdrawal of savings. Select New and then Payment Transfer Type. Let's name it Withdrawal and add a description. Next, we have to select the destination. In our case, the transfer will be from the savings account to a trading account. And it will be to the trade account of the user himself, not to another user. The only thing missing still is the transfer type used for transferring money from the trade account to the savings account. So we have to go back to the trade account and add a new transfer type, similar to the withdrawal we just defined. The last subject of this tutorial is about account and transaction fees. Account fees can be charged to a user on a regular basis. For example, a monthly fee for having an account. Transfer fees can be charged whenever a specific transfer type is executed. In this video, we created two account types and defined the transfer types belonging to them. The next thing to do is giving users access to an account and enable them to trade with other users. The way to do that is by creating products and assigning the product to an individual user, a specific user group or all users of a region. So, let's proceed and go to the next video. It's about creating products.